Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Happy Wednesday. It is cold and snowy in Colorado, but I love it. I don't love the cold, but I do love the snow. So I want to start by telling you guys a story. So I posted earlier today. We have our Diet Busters group. If you guys aren't in there and you want all the info on health and wellness, you should get yourself in that group. So it's not about dieting. It's about busting the myths of dieting. And really helping you understand health. So that's what that group is all about. We're in there all the time. So I haven't been on my page as much, but I wanted to tell you guys a story. So I posted a question and I said, ask me all the questions, about health, wellness, etc. And one of my friends, shout out to Adam, was like, so he's a buddy of mine from years ago. And he's like, can you tell me about calories? So there's a story behind that, and I want to tell you guys the story. So, hi, Catherine. So the story is, I had eating disorders. I was anorexic. I was bulimic. I was all of the things. And even when I wasn't those things, I was on and off. No, not off. I was obsessed with calorie counting. I was obsessed with trying to get my body to look the way it looked. I was frustrated with the fact that it would like never change no matter what I did. I was all of those things, right? And I was like a calorie calculator. Like literally, you guys, I would lay in bed every single night and think about, hi, Mike, and think about what I'd eaten that day and how many calories it was. And then I would honestly be like, it was a good day, I was a good human, or it was a bad day, I was a bad person, right? So I went through that for a very long time. So it was probably 17, 18 years ago. We were on a snowboarding, like a day trip to go to the mountains, having fun with a group of friends, right? Should have been a day where the last thing I was thinking about was counting calories, but I was thinking about counting calories because I was obsessed and not in a good way. So I remember I was sitting in the back of my truck, like I had a big lifted truck and my buddy Adam was driving it. Or maybe I was driving. I don't know. That part doesn't matter. But I had a sugar-free Monster, right? And so we go down the road of why that was really bad for me. But I had a sugar-free Monster and I was super confused about the label because it said it had 0 calories, but it had 9 grams of carbs, okay? Well, I knew even at that point in my life that 9 grams of carbs, like 9 times 4, it had to have calories. And so I was super confused by it. And I was more than being confused by it. I was like super worried that those 9 grams of carbs or those 9 grams of sugar or whatever it was were going to just like put me into a tailspin, right? Like we were going snowboarding. I was burning a ton of calories, right? So I kept talking about it inside of my truck with my group of friends, like calorie, this, how does this work, blah, blah, blah. Like way more obsessed about it than it made any logical sense. And my buddy Adam said to me, he's like, if you say calorie one more time, I'm going to kick you out of your own truck, right? So it was a funny story, and I think it did finally shut up about calories. But what I want to share with you guys is that, we've had our first shift group going for the last 7 weeks, and so many people are still stuck in calories. And I get it, right? Like we're told all of this, I don't want to say it's nonsense because there's some truth into like a calorie deficit and that kind of thing. But essentially, like general media gives us this much information because they want to sell us something, right? And so they're giving us this much information to be like, it's all about the calories, it's this, it's that. And like, what I want you guys to think about is like, what if it wasn't about the calories, right? And so I can tell you from experience and from science and from working with clients for 20 years that it's not about the calories, right? And like for all of these years that I counted calories, and I literally starved myself. Like there were days in high school where I would like survive on 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Like my best friend and I we would have like contests to see who could eat the littlest. And I was playing soccer. I was a good athlete. I was getting good grades. I was doing all these things, which is crazy to me now to look back of like, how did I even function? But like, and my body never changed to look the way I wanted it to look, right? The only time my body started changing was when I started feeding it, right? And so I want you guys to understand that if you're in I've got to count my calories, it's all about the calories, and you're stuck on that. Like, how many calories did I burn? How many calories did I eat? What is my Apple Watch telling me? What did the gym tell me? Like, if we're in that energy, your body is never going to change, right? Because calorie counting for most of us is restriction. I would say for 99% of the world, it's restriction, right? It's the energy of like, I can't have, if I want my body to change, I have to like starve it. I have to have as little as possible. Like it's the enemy. Food is the enemy. Food was the enemy for me for a very, very long time. So what I want you guys to understand is that it doesn't really have that much to do, hi Haley, it doesn't really have that much to do with calories, right? Like it has to do with more your quality, your quantity, when you're eating, what you're eating, all of that stuff. But beyond that, it has so much more to do with the other parts of life. your stress, your relationship with food, your past trauma, your beliefs, your stories, your identity, your consistency, all of that stuff, like that's the real reason that your body's not changing. That's the real reason that you're not feeling any different. And here's the other piece is a lot of times our bodies change, but because we don't change the way we look at ourselves and we don't change the identity that we have and we like can't see what's happening, we don't even think that it's happening, right? And so I want you guys to understand that if you feel the way that I felt was I was frustrated, I was angry, I was like, I do all of the things and I still hate the way my body looks. I have no freedom. I have no life. I feel guilty every time I eat something that isn't good or that's off my plan, right? And I was just in this like terrible constricted lack mindset, right? And so what I want you guys to see is that like the definition of insanity is doing something that you've always done and hoping for a different result, right? And I get it. Like I was married to the scale. I was married to counting my calories. I was doing all of this stuff and none of it ever worked, right? But I was like, well, this isn't working. So I'm just going to try to do it harder, right? And we see that so often of like, well, this isn't working, so I'm going to try to do it harder. Well, that doesn't work, right? So I want to invite you guys to think about what if you started to actually understand yourself, your stories, your beliefs, like how your body works physiologically. What if you started to actually love your body and not hate it? And that was a really big shift for me, was that I spent my whole life going, what can I do so that I don't hate my body? Well, that's a terrible way to show up. When I shifted into like, what if I love my body? What would I do? Well, I would feed it, because as a mom now, like I love my children and I wouldn't be like, well, you can't eat that food, right? So like, what would you do if you loved your body? What would you do if you actually understood how to feed your body? How would it feel to treat yourself like an athlete? How would it feel to trust that you can get rid of your scale? How would it feel to know that if you show up and do the things, but you have the right strategy to do the things, that your body's going to change? And how would it feel to know that a lot of the weight you think you're carrying, or a lot of the weight that you're carrying, is probably emotional, right? Probably has nothing to do with food. Zero things to do with food, right? So my belief, and it's been a journey for me, like obviously like we taught nutrition, we counted macros. I got to a point where I was like, never again, I'll never talk about macros. I'll never talk about nutrition when I was going through my healing journey. But what I know to be true now is that to be the best version of yourself, your body and your brain need good nutrition, right? You need good food in your system. If you want to be the best version of you, if you want to be, you know, a millionaire, an entrepreneur, you know, whatever it is, the best mom you can be, you can't do it by putting junk in your body, okay? Some people don't believe that. That's fine. I eat really well now because I choose to, because it fuels who I am and it fuels my performance, not because I'm trying to limit what I'm doing, right? So there's a really big shift there. So like, what would it feel like to understand your physiology? What would it feel like to understand your mindset and your emotionality? What would it feel like to like spiritually be connected, right? It feels like freedom, right? That's for what it is for me. So I just wanted to share that. And I want you guys to think about, like, if you've been stuck in the calorie counting, if you've been stuck in the frustration, if you've been stuck in that energy, I want you to do me a favor, okay? I want you to go into our Diet Busters group, and I want you to watch some of the testimonials that we have going on. I want you to go back and watch. We did a 3-day workshop last week. It's free. It's totally free. I want you to watch that, and then I want you to consider, what if? So we launched our 8-week program. 100% transparency here. This program has been life-changing. So we launched the first one 8 weeks ago. We had 63 people join us. The results that they've gotten in 6 weeks in their mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health has been insane, right? Exactly what we hoped for and more. So I want you to go listen to those. And I want you to consider, what if you want to get different results, you have to do something you've never done. And something you've never done is maybe had a coach. Something you've never done is really actually started to look at the deeper parts of what's going on in your life. Something you've never done is maybe eat more food, right? So I want you to go in, I want you to watch those videos, I want you to reach out with questions, and I want you to take a look at our program, because my mission in life is to end diet culture, right? Our mission, Jen and Brandon and I are all doing this together, is to really like get you out of the diet cycle, get you out of that stuck feeling, get you to food freedom, get you into a body and a life and health that you like love, and just to be vibrant and happy for the rest of your life. So that is my invitation to you. You know, obviously there's never any pressure, but like we don't coach anything we don't believe in, right? And so, it's an open invitation to look at things differently. And if you feel like this is something that you want to be a part of, please let me know. We'll get you enrolled. But, you know, it's been such a cool journey. And I want you to go listen to the other people that are in that group and listen to what they have to say. Somebody actually asked us, they're like, are these real testimonials? 100% real, non-scripted. They knew the questions coming in, but nothing else, right? So I just really want you to think about that. and go take that action. All right. There's Brandon. He wants to say hi. All right, guys. Talk soon.